Good evening, friends. Welcome to the 30th episode of Professional Talk. And once again, to complete that same topic, what we had in episode 12 with Mr. Rajarshi Dasgupta regarding pharma product management job. So there were certain parts which we could not complete because of the time issues. So in this episode, we will be covering those vital questions which we could not get answered by Mr. Dasgupta in that episode. So to stream, I'm welcoming Mr. Rajarshi Dasgupta. So very good evening, sir, and welcome to the stream.
Good evening, Ankit. Glad to be back with you.
I hope I'm well audible to you, sir, and you can hear me
Yes,
well.
yes. It's perfect, perfect.
Okay. So, sir, the episode 12 got appreciated well, and now based on that questions what we had in episode 12, I thought that there are certain questions what I must get answered by you, and therefore I have certain set of questions for episode 13, and that is why I invited you today once again. So, for the benefit of viewers, sir, I would like to continue this episode 13 on the same topic. And the first thing what I would like to ask you is that what is the typical career pathway for product management in pharmaceuticals line, sir?
Okay. You see, a person who is just passing out from a business school with an MBA degree, he normally starts either as a management trainee or as a product executive. So it actually differs from company to company because many companies who take them as management trainees, in that first 1 year, they are sent to different departments to gather experience. So in many companies, they are restricted to product management and they are designated as product executive. So normally they start as a management trainee or product executive, and then the hierarchy goes right up to vice president sales and marketing with many levels in between. And the levels in between are actually increasing every day because the management has thought it's very necessary to motivate people with some upgradation in their designation. So earlier, like 10, 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, we only had product executive, product manager, group product manager, marketing manager. But now there are levels in between. So product executive may become a senior product executive, assistant product manager, then product manager, then senior product manager, then group product manager, then senior group product manager, and then marketing manager. And marketing manager can be with different designations like GM, DGM. So he's basically head of the marketing department or product management department. So uh, in more established companies, the hierarchy is pretty long. Bigger companies, uh, same like in the field also, a person who's joining as a medical rep, they become area business manager, then regional business manager, then zonal business manager, then national sales manager. So in both the cases, before they become the vice president or general manager, the number of levels are about the same, but an MBA person normally reaches the equivalent position much faster. For instance, the national sales manager and the marketing manager are in most companies are the same rank, same grade. But the national sales manager normally comes after almost 25 years of experience. But in case of marketing manager, it comes within 15 years of experience. So they are basically on the fast track. So that's the career path.
Sir, here I just want to understand one thing. There are different kind of company with different kind of volumes, different kind of organizational setup, and different kind of field staff strength. Of course, the product range is also differs companies to company. So the kind of pathway you explained to the product management team person, I just want to understand for different organizations, is this pathway varies or it is in same order to all organizations? And if it varies, then what are the variations we usually see in smaller or bigger or medium kind of organizations? So kindly explain that to the benefit viewers.
Okay. You see the path of the career, path of the product manager, career path is almost the same in every company. But what differs is actually the nature of the job function of a product manager. That depends on what type of company it is. There is a little difference between a product manager in a multinational company, research-based company, and a product manager of an Indian company. Now, to make you understand this, share with you a small anecdote. You know, 30 years ago, I was sent to a workshop, product management workshop in Narsi Monji Institute of Management, Bombay. So there, product managers from different companies had assembled, a mix of multinational companies, Indian companies, and we had a very experienced and a very brilliant trainer, the anchor of the entire workshop. Uh, Very impressive person, and he asked us that you all know that product managers are basically dealing with the four P's of marketing. Uh, what are the four P's of marketing you are handling? So everybody came with the answer: product, price, place, promotion, the typical four P's of marketing. So that gentleman said, "All rubbish. Now tell me who are the people from Indian companies?" So half the people stood up. Okay, now are you really doing the four P's of marketing? So they were looking at each other. Then he said, I'll tell you what you're doing. You have four P's, that's all right. What are the four P's? In Indian companies, what you're doing is uh, proofing, printing, packing, and posting. You're making promotional material. That's all you do. You do the proofreading, you do the printing, you do the packing for dispatch, and then you post. So this is what people are mostly doing, very busy doing with. So, and those people actually agreed that 80% of the time they are doing the LBL छपवाओ, कुछ design बनाओ, ये करो. So, major part of the job is this. And then dispatch instructions दो, कहाँ कौन सा क्या जाएगा. So this is something which actually happens. I'm not saying it doesn't happen in MNCs. MNCs also this happens, but to a much lesser extent. MNCs may the strategic issues are much more. Because you have to deal with a principal company abroad. They keep on asking for different strategic inputs depending on the market. So the entire job, the emphasis is more on analytics and strategy making in MNCs rather than the creative aspect of designing and literatures and printing them. Okay, and training part, of course, is equal in both multinational and Indians. So this is one difference in the job, depending on the company, whether it's MNC or Indian company. Second is the nature of the division or the product line. So in a super specialty division, you are only handling one or two doctor segments. You are handling maybe orthopedics or oncology or nephrology. So in that case, there is very little, strategic issues. What is required is dissemination of information. Latest information, what's going on, what are the new research studies being completed, what are the ongoing studies. It is a lot of on scientific inputs in these super specialty divisions. The person has to do a lot of reading. They have to continuously go through the PubMed research based database, see the articles, conclusions, see which one is good for marketing the products, So these are things which are uh, extremely overemphasized in a super specialty division. Not much of strategic. Now, in contrast, if you look at the general pharma division, which has a products for maybe 7 8 segments or 10 segments of doctors, they have GP, physician, dermatologist, orthopedic doctors, gynecologists, multi-segment. So in that case, the strategic issues are much higher. So there, the issue is they have to decide that if I have to say promote an anti-inflammatory analgesic, uh, in which quarter I'll be promoting to which target audience, which segment of doctors, whether I should concentrate on orthopedic or I should concentrate in physicians, if so, for which indication. Now, these are actually based on inputs of market research data. So there are prescription audit firms which are operating in the market, who actually sell data to pharma companies. And over different periods during the year, they show how the prescription response is going up or down in different segments. Say, dentist segment, anti-inflammatory, how the prescription has gone up or gone down. Which company is doing maximum business in the dentist segment. Okay, so this is something you have to study, analyze, and make a strategic decision. Key how I'm going to promote the product in which quarter, because you see there are so many doctors you can't promote to every segment in every quarter. Then your company will be at a loss with giving so much of inputs and gifts and all these things. So these are strategic decisions which a person in general pharma are doing almost every month, every quarter, and accordingly they are preparing promotional material. So this is a major difference again. So one, it depends on the type of company, MNC or Indian company. Second is it types on the product line, whether it's a general pharma product line or a specialty, super specialty product line. So yes, there is a change. There's a difference between the job function in different companies.
Sir, you have very well explained the key strategic issues what a product manager can have in his job. There is one term which is usually we keep kept on listening is product mix optimization. And this
Yeah.
organization, even in terms of sales achievement, they talk about that your optimization in terms of achievement of product mix is not there. So how important it is product mix optimization? What is this term is actually, and how important it is for an organization to have the overall revenue and in terms of benefits and all. So can we explain that for the viewers?
Okay. At the outset, let me tell you, this exercise is extremely important, product mix optimization, but it's mainly for the general pharma companies,
Okay.
which have a big line of products, many products they have. So the exercise is primarily to shortlist. If you remember in my previous episode, I had told this product mix optimization is done right at the stage of budgeting, because
Yes.
in the expense budget you have to decide on a few number of products which will be the promotional thrust, where you're going to spend money, where you're going to spend money building brands. Now that actually depends on uh, various factors, and there are models, mathematical models, which will enable a product manager to decide on the best product mix of the company, which will give revenues as well as profits, because only revenues is not important. uh, because sometimes sometimes some territories are very sort of antagonized, because you suddenly drop a product from a promotion. You have been promoting it for the last 2 3 years and the product is doing very well in your territory, and then suddenly the company stops promotion. Reason is that it is no longer profitable. So the territory will be at a loss. But again, selling product at a loss doesn't make sense. You see, if you are investing in a product which is not giving you profits, then it is a loss-making proposition. So naturally, the company will think of dropping the product from the promotional mix. Okay, next is one is the profit margins that determines that which product should be promoted. If Many companies have a benchmark that if your gross contribution, basically it's a profit indicator, gross contribution is less than certain such percentage, we don't take up the product for promotion. So it doesn't fall into the promotional products. And in some companies, another important factor is that the spread of the products. In a general pharma, the spread of the products is very important. Now, what do you mean by spread? Suppose the company is targeting 8 different specialties. Okay, they are targeting GPs, physicians. They are targeting gynecologists, orthopedicians, dermatologists. So 8 different segments are there. Now, when a medical rep is going, there should be a minimum number of products per doctor segment. I mean, if you are going to visit a doctor with just one brand, it doesn't make sense. You will not get returns. So it is important that you should at least have 2 products on promotion, 2 on reminder status. Ideally, sometimes it can be less, not a problem. But again, that criteria of gross contribution or gross profit, uh, it is not applicable sometimes when you have to balance out the spread of the products. So the spread of the product across segments, the gross contribution of the product, and then you look at the competitive intensity. How much the product is placed in terms of competition. Now, your gross contribution may be very high. Your spread, you want to include that product, but again, the number of competitors in that segment is huge, and with some very dominant competitors. Now, for a product, if there are dominant competitors, I mean, each competitor has got very strong investment power, marketing muscle. So there, you have to also equally pitch in with good amount of promotional budget. So this will determine that whether you should take up a product or not for promotion. So all these factors, are included: the competition, the market size, the gross contribution of the profits, and the spread of the product across the segments. So all these put together, you can optimize the product mix in such a way that the company focuses on fewer brands, they build fewer brands for each segment, and in the long run, the company's profits increase. So this whole exercise is called product mix optimization. I hope I'm clear.
With same. Yeah, sir. Thank you very much for such a beautiful answer, sir. I just want to extend the same topic a little bit ahead, and willing to know that in a product mix optimization, always there is something called new product launches, and somehow that complies that same idea of product mix optimization. So it's a very major thing from product management job, if I see how to introduce a product in a market. So what are the major challenges in a different organization a product management person faces, and what are that challenges one by one, if you can define for the benefit of viewers, and if anybody is aspired for this career, would be a very good help.
Okay. Now, again, at the outset, let me tell you that in the product mix optimization, the new products are not taken into account, because new products, they have a separate budget altogether. They have a separate budget. Like, you cannot launch a new product without a very aggressive promotional budget. There's no point in launching a product half-heartedly. All right. So that when you're launching a product, you have to go full throttle in the first year at least, so that the life cycle of the product it comes from the introduction phase to the growth phase as quickly as possible. So now, new product launch is actually one of the most important part of the product manager's job. Now, it starts with the process of identification, like how he would identify the product. Now, in this case, again, the factors which actually went into product mix optimization, the same factors are taken into account here also. Because once you give your wish list, normally most companies have a wish list. Like these are the products which could be good for new launches, new product launch. So what happens is, suppose you give product A, B, C, D. Now you have to fill in a new product launch format and with the forecast. That forecast is very important as to the first year how much you're going to achieve, second, third year how much you're going to achieve, and then what would be the nearest competitor and what is that packaging. You give a reference, like this will be the product against which I'll be uh, comparing. There's a normally the leader product in the market, so that is given as a reference. Now this whole format along with the reference product is sent to the production planning control department. You can say the production department. So they actually then give it to the different departments to check whether the costing is working out. So the purchase department gets involved, seeing that how much would be the costing. The costing department also gets involved because purchase department will give you the raw material cost, packaging costs, at what price they're going to buy the foil, the outer packaging, primary carton, and then the costing department will say this is coming to the costing. Costing itna ho raha hai. Now, as I said that the gross contribution of the product, many companies have a benchmark. इससे कम होने से profits हम उसको launch के लिए take up नहीं करेंगे because there's no point in launching a product half-hearted. So after this stage, you shortlist. Suppose your wish list was A, B, C, D products. You see only A and D are fulfilling this minimum gross contribution criteria. कि ये दो product से ही होगा. So then you take up that, okay, let's go ahead with these two products. So once the thing starts, then you draw what we call as the PERT CPM. This is a chart sort of a thing, which is very commonly used in project management. So PERT CPM in the full form is Project Evaluation and Review Technique, and then the critical path method. So ये PERT में क्या होता है? You know that this new product may when it will be launched, who will be doing what work and within what time frame. It's like a schedule. So this new product committee will comprise the production planning control department, the manufacturing department, the purchase department, as to वो लोग उनका जो time commitments है, whether it's being fulfilled or not. So these new product committee, they normally sit for a meeting every month or every fortnight, depending on how much time frame you are giving yourself to launch the brand. So this update is taken almost periodically, twice a month or every month, and then side by side, the product management gets prepared for the promotional material. See, CPM जो मैंने बोला PERT CPM, critical path method is there are many activities which can go on simultaneously. One is not linked to the other. So these are parallel activities. So ये सब काम जब चल रहा है, product management अपना parallel activity कर रहा है कि promotional material बनाया जाए, samples बनाया जाए, catch covers बनाया जाए. So these are things which go on simultaneously. And then the new product launch is ready. And in the entire schedule, you have dispatch of promotional material, the training calendar, training kaisa diya jayega across the country, who will go where for the training. So these are things which are decided so that the entire launch program works efficiently. That's very important. Because one thing which many companies believe in, the moment you have a new product training, there should be no time wasted in the launch. क्योंकि एक बार when you are making the field enthusiastic about a new launch, if you spend time to reach the product to the market, then the whole enthusiasm is lost. So as soon as the training program is over, the effort is to make sure that the products reach the market, different stockists, distributors, as early as possible, so that the launch is most effective. So this is what the new product launch is all about. And of course, as I said, you cannot have a new product for a segment of doctors where you don't exist. I mean, the product may be doing excellent, very well. It's in a high growth phase, high profit margins. But again, you're not operating in that segment. Suppose it's a product for neurology. आप न्यूरोलॉजी में काम ही नहीं करते हो, आपका वो न्यूरोलॉजी सेगमेंट के साथ you don't have a relationship, so there's no point in taking up such products. So there are different criteria, and product selection determines how successful the product launch is, as well as the investment which is going into the launch.
So, sir, we have gone through the episode 12 and this 13 already going on regarding product management job. And I am to the last question, and I believe that we have completed all the sections of this profile. Uh, this with this last question, I will be concluding this session on product management job. And what is the most important integral for an organization, sales or marketing?
Oh, that's a very interesting question. You see, uh, in every organization, uh, unfortunately, there is a little bit of rift between the two departments,
Yes, sir.
product management and sales. Sales feel that we are more important. Without us, the company cannot exist. Product management feels that without us, what promotion will people do? So there is always a rift who is more important. And when sales don't take place as per the budgets, then the sales people will blame product management will blame sales. So this is something which happens in almost every company.
Yes,
And
sir.
it is actually for the head of sales and marketing to ensure that these sort of conflicts are minimized. If the head of sales and marketing is experienced, have worked in both the departments, then this sort of conflict doesn't actually take place. Little bit may be there, but very often you find that whenever there's a budget shortfall, achievement shortfall, the conflict begins. That the product management didn't send inputs on time. Then you find that the goods didn't reach on time, distribution was at fault. So this takes place. Now, if you ask me, which is more important, I think uh, neither sales can do without marketing nor marketing can do without sales. All right. So they are equally important. But anything wrong with your lights, Ankit? Can you hear me? Hello? Power failure? Okay, I'm not sure whether the viewers are able to hear me out. Now, between sales and marketing, the importance actually also depends on at which stage of marketing the company is in. In the launch stage, I would say the sales people are more important because in the launch stage, the push is very much required. And as the company sales grow, the role of product management increases every day. So this is something which product managers should realize, that to launch a company, you first need people in sales. And then when the revenues come up, the company can afford a product management team for better promotion, better strategies. I think Ankit has lost the link connection. So we'll wait for some time till he is back. So viewers, I think we should end the discussion here. I hope the people watching this episode have enjoyed whatever was discussed. And I must say the questions framed by Ankit was very, very relevant. And I hope I was able to do justice to each of his questions. And in case you have questions regarding product management, please feel free to contact him so that we can take it up in the next episode or future episodes. Thank you very much. Good night.